Namibia announces 5-year ban on buying cars for politicians. Namibia's president on Thursday slapped a 5-year ban on buying new cars for top politicians and government officials in order to channel funds into fighting coronavirus, his office said. President Hage Geingob has directed that the vehicle fleet of the Namibian government will not be renewed for the period 2020 to 2025. Presidential spokesperson Alfredo Angari announced in a statement. No new vehicle will be purchased for members of the executive and public office bearers in the Namibian government. He said the decision would save some 200 million Namibian dollars, that is $10.7 million US dollars, which will be directed to urgent priorities, specifically at a time when the country is dealing with the health and economic implications of COVID-19. The Southern African country of 2.5 million people has so far recorded 16 cases of COVID-19 with no deaths. Namibian ministers and their deputies each qualify for Mercedes-Benz vehicle upon their appointment. The president also directed a limit on monthly fuel consumption for top politicians, the government said. In 2002, then-President Sam Nujoma had banned the use of Mercedes-Benz, insisting that ministers should ride in Toyota Camry cars. Now on Nigerian news. Dubai returnee didn't die of coronavirus. Lagos state government on Thursday made a U-turn, saying that the Dubai returnee Nigerian who died in Lagos was not as a result of coronavirus. Commissioner for Health Akin Abayomi had said last Tuesday that a 32-year-old Nigerian who returned from Dubai had been killed by the deadly coronavirus in Lagos. According to Abayomi, another COVID-19 infection-related death involved 32-year-old male has been recorded. The deceased recently returned from Dubai with severe underlying health condition. However, Abayomi on Thursday made a U-turn on the man's death, saying it was not from coronavirus. I hereby inform the general public that the Nigerian who recently returned from Dubai as part of a group of returnees who were placed in a COVID-19 isolation program in Lekki developed complication and was transferred to one of our facilities where he died. Because of the sudden nature of his demise, and without any prior knowledge of his multiple pre-existing conditions, it was presumed to be a COVID-19 related death pending confirmation by COVID-19 gold standard test, he said. The commissioner said the presumptive attribution was a precaution to ensure the safe clinical management and the patient and subsequent handling of the corpse. The defined COVID-19 gold standard test has turned out to be negative for the COVID-19 infection, and his death is no longer considered to have been attributed to COVID-19, he said. Still on Nigerian news and on COVID-19. 1,071 people already discharged from various isolation treatment centers. The Presidential Task Force, PTF, on COVID-19 on Thursday disclosed that a total of 1,071 Nigerians have already been discharged from the various isolation treatment centers. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman of Presidential Task Force in COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, made this disclosure at the daily briefing. The SGF said these health workers have put in whole even beyond the call of duty to save lives. We also congratulate all those that have been discharged and urge them to come out and tell their stories. We need to tell Nigerians that COVID-19 is real, that it is deadly, and that prevention is better than cure. There is no better convincing and compelling evidence of the reality of the danger than your experience. According to him, statistics on COVID-19 have continued to come out daily, indicating that the testing strategy deployed is yielding results because we can now give care to those that need it. Mustafa said the PTF is disappointed with some Nigerian returnees on quarantine in isolation centers and who violate the guidelines on their being in the isolation center. He said while the PTF reported the progress made with the evacuation of some Nigerians from the UAE, UK, and USA, and informed about the mandatory quarantine protocol, it is saddening to see Nigerians acting to the contrary. The SGF said Nigerians have in recent days been served with different audio-visual clips by some of these returnees. The PTF is saddened by the conduct of some of the returnees who fail to adhere to the condition attached to the quarantine. I strongly urge them to obey the rules in the facilities and also urge their friends and relations to recognize the contagious nature of this disease by desisting from visiting them. Complying is in the interest of the visiting relation and in the overall public interest. Mustafa said that the nation has begun the countdown to the end of the first phase of ease lockdown approved by the president so that the economy could gradually reopen. He said that the government will continue its assessment of the level of compliance with the guidelines and the impact on slowing down the spread of COVID-19. He added that the task force shall make further recommendations before the second phase commences. I must, however, state that our initial evaluation points firmly in the direction of a high level of non-compliance, which, as we have often warned, portend grave self-inflicted danger. This fact has made it imperative for me to re-echo our call for taking personal responsibility. This exemption for the avoidance of doubt includes farming activities. Recognize the fact that we are in the planting season and the nation cannot afford to prevent our hard-working farmers from going to their farm. We therefore use this medium to re-emphasize that farmers fall within this list of exemptions and urge state governors, local government authorities, and security agencies to please allow them to carry out their activities. Our food security is critical to our national security, he said. Mustafa said the PTF has briefed President Muhammadu Buhari on progress, challenges, and planned course of action. According to him, the objective was to seek further guidance and fresh ideas to improve the fight against COVID-19, and that the briefing was very helpful in bringing renewed cohesion into the effort of government. The SGF said that the PTF welcomes the resolution of the Nigeria Governors Forum to take steps to ramp up testing and provide the prescribed minimum number of bed spaces in their isolation treatment centers. He, however, assured the state that the NCDC will continue to provide technical support and standardization guidelines. It will also continue to firmly pursue the surveillance activities nationwide. We urge the state to recognize the essence of a strong partnership and always allow overarching public interest to prevail, Mustafa said.